actually is. Audit documentation, often referred to as working papers, consists of the records maintained by the auditor that detail the procedures performed during the audit, the evidence obtained, and the conclusions reached. According to International Standard on Auditing, ISA 230, audit documentation is defined as the record of audit procedures, audit evidence, and conclusions drawn by the auditor. The documentation should be sufficient and appropriate to support the auditor's report and should enable an experienced auditor with no prior connection to the engagement to understand the audit process and outcome. This means that documentation is not only a technical requirement but also a critical professional tool that underpins the credibility and defensibility of the audit. Now, let us explore the reasons for preparing audit documentation. Firstly, audit documentation serves as evidence of the work performed. It demonstrates that the audit was conducted in compliance with international standards on auditing and relevant legal requirements. For instance, if an auditor claims to have performed certain procedures, the documentation provides tangible proof that those procedures were indeed carried out. Secondly, audit documentation supports the audit opinion. The conclusions reached and the report issued must be justifiable, and the working papers provide the necessary backing for these judgments. Thirdly, audit documentation forms the basis for supervision and review. Senior auditors and engagement partners rely on these records to review the work of junior staff, ensuring that all procedures have been performed correctly and that nothing has been overlooked. This supervisory function is crucial for maintaining quality and consistency across audit engagements. Fourthly, audit documentation ensures continuity for future audits. For recurring clients, well-maintained documentation provides a reference point, saving time in understanding the client's systems and reducing the risk of missing important issues that may persist across multiple audit periods. Another key reason for audit documentation is accountability and legal defense. In the event of litigation or regulatory inquiry, auditors must be able to demonstrate that their work was conducted with due professional care and in accordance with standards. Proper documentation protects the auditor by providing evidence of compliance and diligence. The sixth reason is that audit documentation serves as a training tool. New audit staff can learn from previous working papers, understanding how procedures are performed and what constitutes adequate evidence. This mentoring function contributes to the development of professional competence within the audit firm. Lastly, audit documentation enables external review and quality control. Peer reviews, internal monitoring, and regulatory inspections rely on comprehensive and well-organized working papers to assess the quality and compliance of the audit engagement. These reviews are essential for maintaining the reputation and accreditation of the audit firm. Turning to the importance of audit documentation in relation to ISA requirements, ISA 230 mandates that documentation must be prepared on a timely basis, must be complete and sufficiently detailed, and must clearly identify who performed and who reviewed the work. The documentation should also include significant matters, professional judgments, and alternatives considered during the audit. It is important to note that failure to document a procedure is generally interpreted as the work not having been done, which is a significant audit risk and can have serious legal and professional consequences. Audit documentation is also highly relevant from a regulatory and professional perspective. Audit files may be examined by audit regulators such as public oversight boards and quality assurance units, legal courts in cases of alleged negligence, and professional accountancy bodies to ensure compliance with ethical and technical standards. Proper documentation ensures that the audit firm meets quality control standards, as outlined in ISQC 1 and ISQM 1, and maintains its professional credibility and legal defensibility. Documentation also plays a critical role in quality assurance. Firms often implement documentation policies that require standardized formats and indexing, the use of audit software, checklists, tick marks, referencing, and review signatures with dating. These measures help ensure a consistent and high-quality audit process across all engagements. To illustrate the importance of documentation, consider the real-world example provided in your course material. An auditor failed to document the basis for accepting a going concern assumption in a financially distressed company. When the company subsequently collapsed and the audit was challenged in court, the auditor could not demonstrate compliance with ISA 570, which addresses the auditor's responsibilities relating to going concern. The lack of documentation was interpreted as negligence, and the audit report was deemed unsupported. This example highlights how critical proper documentation is for legal protection and professional credibility. In summary, audit documentation is a cornerstone of professional audit practice. It ensures evidence, supervision, accountability, and compliance. Proper documentation safeguards auditors legally and professionally, and ISA 230 sets clear expectations regarding what, when, and how to document audit work. Let us now move to the next section.